Okay, now let's do 8-1. I'm not late for picking up my daughter, am I? No. Okay, so complete the sentence. For two figures to be similar, the corresponding angles must be exactly the same, identical, congruent. And the corresponding side lengths must be, well, they're not going to be the same. If they were the same, they'd be congruent. They wouldn't be similar. So for the side lengths, we just want them to be proportional. All right, that was easy. Let's keep going. Find the scale factor. List all pairs of congruent angles and write the ratios. Okay, so for number 3, in a statement of proportionality. So find the scale factor. Okay, they're giving me the congruent figures. They're telling me exactly how this goes. So like AB corresponds to LM. AB is 6.75. I don't like it as much as I like 6. So I'm going to go with CB. So this is the last two letters with NM. 8. So 6 to 8. Oh, sorry. We take where we ended up over where we started. So we take 8 over 6. And then we'll reduce that, 4 over 3. That's K for number 3. So find the scale factor, check. List all pairs of congruent angles. Okay. It's right here for me. Angle A congruent to angle L. It just goes in order. So angle A is congruent to angle L. Angle B is congruent to angle M. And angle C is congruent to angle N. And then write the ratios of the corresponding side lengths. Okay. Corresponding side lengths, AB. So side AB. Oh no. I was about to do it again. We take where we ended up over where we started. So I'm gonna write a huge thing here to not forget. I'm gonna write top here and bottom here so that I don't mess up these ratios. So I should take LM, which is 9, over AB, which is 6.75. Okay. And then this will reduce, I don't like that, so I'm going to have the calculator do it for me. I'm going to say 9 divided by 6.75. And then it's going to give me that number. And then I'm going to say, can you turn this into a fraction for me? It says 1 1/3, which is 4 over 3. 1 1/3 is 4 over 3. Does it do that too? Yes, it does. It does that too. If I do this one, it'll turn it into 4 over 3. There it is. Okay. Which was the scale factor? It's what we expected. Then we're gonna take BC, which is, oh no, we take top, this guy, MN, to BC, which is 6. And then we'll also do AC and LN. LN is 6 to AC, which is 4.5. And then I'm going to check it just to check it, but it's going to be the same. 6 divided by 4.5 is going to be 1.333, which if we turn into a decimal is 1 1/3, which if we say, hey, we like improper fractions better. Nope, sorry. Hey, we like improper fractions better. It'll tell us 4/3. Okay. All right. That's that. Number 5 tells us that these guys are similar, and it wants us to find the value of x. So once we know they're similar, we need to set up a proportion using ratios. First, I want a complete ratio. So, for example, I want a side, and then the corresponding side, I want to know both. So I have 12 and 18 as an option, or 14 and 21 as an option. It doesn't matter. So I'm going to take 12 over 18. And then I could just go straight into, so this is going to be, I'm going to label it, this is top, this is bottom. I'm going to follow the same pattern, even though now it won't matter. I'm still going to do it right, so that I'm in the right habits. And then that corresponds to 20 over x. And this solves it for me from here. It would have been easier if I reduced this. The cross multiplication would have came out nicer. But that's okay. 12x equals 18 times 20, which is 360. And then that we divide by 12, and we get 30. And I just check quickly, make sure, does that make sense? Yeah, it makes sense. These guys are bigger by about this much, 20, I would expect 30. Works for me. Okay, here we are, number 7. Again, this is gonna be my top, this is gonna be my bottom. I need ratios, and I want a complete ratio first, no variables. So I could take 26 and 13, or 12 and 6. I'm going to pick the smallest numbers, 12 to 6. This time, let's reduce it, just so you guys get the practice there too. I can divide top and bottom by 6 and get 2 over 1. Okay, so here's my scale factor, my complete ratio. I can set that equal to the part that's got my variable that I need. Again, top, 22. Over bottom x, and then I can cross multiply, or if you see 2 times 11 is 22, 1 times 11, you could do that too. But I'm going to cross multiply, so 2x equals 22. Divide the 2, and x is 11. Okay. Number 9 says that these black triangles are similar. Identify the type of segment shown. Find the value of the variable. So this segment right here comes out of a vertex, goes to the opposite side, and makes a 90-degree angle. That bad boy is called an altitude. And when I've got similar triangles, things like their altitudes and medians are also going to be proportional. So that means that I can set up my complete ratio. So I'm going to just choose one to be the top, one to be the bottom. I need a complete ratio. So this 27 corresponds to that 18. I'm going to reduce it by dividing top and bottom by 9. And that is 3 over 2. Okay. And so now I take the 3 over 2 and I set it equal to, and then I go looking at my unknown. So top will be x and bottom will be that 16. And I'll cross multiply. 3 times 16 is 48, equals 2 times x, which is 2x. And then divide the 2, and x is 24. Okay. Okay, now They give me some similar polygons and they want ratio of perimeters. Well, ratio of perimeters is the same as the scale factor. So I can just find the scale factor. I need a scale factor, I need a complete ratio. Is my complete ratio. So top to bottom means that I get 8 to 12, which will reduce to, if I divide both by 4, 2/3. And that's the perimeter ratio. I don't have to do more work there. Number 13 says, if we have two similar polygons, and the perimeter of the smaller one is 48, that's the ratio, find the perimeter of the other one. Well, great. They gave me my complete ratio, that's 2 to 3. They're telling me that smaller goes on top and that larger goes on bottom. So perimeter of smaller is 48. That means that 48 goes on top. So you got to be very deliberate and conscious of these types of things, or else you're going to make a mistake. Okay, cross multiply. And I get that 48 times 3 is 144, and 2x equals 144. And then whenever I see units, I'm like, units! Don't forget them. Okay, divide both sides by 2. And x equals 72 units. Centimeters. Perimeter is just centimeters. Okay, here, give me a ratio of 1 to 6. They're giving me, again, smaller over larger. Then here, they're saying perimeter of larger is 120, so that goes on the bottom with the larger, and x on top, and then I'll cross multiply again, and I get that 6x equals 120. Divide both sides by 6, and x is 20 units, is yards. Okay. I hope you're finding this stuff easy peasy. It's like a flashback to algebra. A school gymnasium is being remodeled. The basketball court is going to be similar to an NCAA basketball court, which has a length of 94 and a width of 50. So basketball court NCAA is 94 feet by 50 feet. Okay, the school plans to make the width of the new court 45. Okay, so we're doing a school court. And the width of that court is going to be 45. So just a little smaller. Find the perimeters of the NCAA court and the new court in the school. Okay, I can find the perimeter of this NCAA one, no problem. If this is 94, this is 94. If that's 50, this is 50. So for the perimeter, it's just 50 plus 50 plus 94 plus 94. So 50 times 2 plus 94 times 2 is 288 units feet. Now over here, I'm running into trouble because I don't know this right here. Unknown. So I've got to set up a proportion to solve it. I'm going to say 50 over 45 equals 94 over x, and I'll solve. So I cross multiply to get 50x equals 45 times 94, which is 4230, And then I will divide that by 50 to get 84.6 feet. So that means that this right here is 84.6, and so is this 84.6, and this is 45. And so now I can tell him the perimeter here, it's going to be that 84.6 times 2. Or you can add it, 84.6 plus 84.6, plus 45 times 2. Either way, don't worry. You can still add all the way around. That's totally fine. .45 times 2 is 90, so that's 259.2. Units are feet. And there we are. If we wanted to, we can make this ratio and show that it's the same as 50 over 45. Because perimeter ratios are the same. Okay. All right, here we go. Area. So this is probably the toughest problems. Okay, so be on guard. Okay, these are similar. The area of one is given, and the area of the other is what we want to find. So first I set up my ratio. So I'm gonna go here and call this guy top. I'll call this guy bottom, just to get in the habit of always doing end over start. So this is 6 over 3, which absolutely I will reduce to 2 over 1. Okay, this is my scale factor, all right? My scale factor needs to go through a squaring process to turn into an area, whatever. 4 over 1 is an area ratio. Only once I have the area ratio can I go and mess around with areas, all right? So now I'm going to say 4 to 1 equals my unknown area over this area. Cross multiply. And area equals 4 times 27, which is 108. Units are feet squared. Or you can say square feet. Or you could do square feet like that. But do not forget units. And for area, units are always squared, squared, squared. Okay, let's do it again. This will be my top. This will be my bottom. First, I'll find scale factor by taking the 20 over the 4, reduce. Okay, now this scale factor needs to be squared. And only once it's squared can I go play around with area. So now I can say that 25 over 1 equals 100 over x, or a. This a is unknown. Cross multiply. 25a equals 100. Divide both sides by 25, and our area here is 4 square inches, or inches squared. Okay. Last but not least, some error analysis. Describe and correct the error in finding the perimeter of triangle B. So they made the ratio by taking 5 over 10. So they made this the top. They made this the bottom. No problem, but they are committed now. They're in a committed relationship to that thing. And then they went ahead and found the perimeter here. So they said 10 plus 12 plus 6 is 28. But wait a minute. This was bottom. Can't just switch it. That's the problem. They should have done 5 over 10 equals x over 28. Then they would have been fine. Okay, 10x equals, this is the same as 140. Okay, and then divide both sides by 10 so that x equals 14. There's no units here. And there we are. Okay, guys, that is all.